Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to 5 things we learned off the back of our round 5 loss to the GWS Giants by the tune of 28 points. Before we get into my 5 points, as always, I want to thank the sponsor of this series, Mornington Peninsula Brewery. Check out their website, www.mpbrew.com.au. Alright, let's get straight into it. This should be interesting. And as always, please put your 5 things in the comments below. Absolutely love reading them every week. Number 1, the lack of height hurt us. Scoring and defending. I don't know. I know that we dropped Keeler. There was rumours that maybe Ari, he was an emergency. Harry Boyd as well. That was something that we named the extended squad. And we thought maybe we'll go in with some added height. Round 1. It felt like a very similar situation where the tall towers of the Giants were going to get hold of us, and it happened in round 1 against the Crows. The same shit happened. The fact that we had 11 more inside 50s is pretty damning considering how many marks they took off the rebound. So Taylor, Buckley, Iden, they just had too many intercept marks for my liking, and we had no one forward of the ball that could really bring it to ground. We had 14 marks inside 50, but it just didn't work. Like, every time they went inside 50, I thought Hogan or Cadman was going to mark it. Riccardi bobbed up with a few. Around the ground, it just felt like contested marks. They were just too dominant. And as much as we want to be a quick running team, I think we're going to have to really amp it up in the next 5-10 weeks. If we can get tools like King and Howard back, maybe Boyd plays a few more extra games, Keeler, Ari. We need some height in the team, because if we don't have height, we're not going to win a lot of games, or at least we will, but it's going to be very difficult. And the last couple of weeks, like Geelong, they're not really the tallest team. We took care of them. Richmond, pretty much the same. Port Adelaide, a bit of a mix, but we kind of handled it with our midfield being so dominant. And last night, our midfield wasn't dominant. You know, McRae was well held. Steele was quiet. Marshall wasn't Marshall. He played like he's been injured for the last 50 weeks. So when they're down and the ball is just in the air for the majority of the game, we're in a lot of trouble. So going into this week against the Dogs, they've got tools everywhere as well. I'm interested to see what we do to adapt to that and combat that lack of height that we have due to injuries and that sort of thing at the moment. Number 2, the midfield partnership of Garcia and Winhager, I'm loving at the moment. And even quick mention of what Ross did yesterday in the last quarter, putting Owens in there and putting Naz in there. Naz was quite good in there, and I think he played a bit on the wing as well yesterday. But Garcia, Winhager seem to have this good cop, bad cop type thing, except it's actually not good cop. It's just bad cop, bad cop. Because I think the last 3 weeks, they've both gotten into some little mini fights, some jumper punches here and there. But if one goes in, the other one's going to be right there. And I think they complement each other in terms of their skills really well in the midfield. Garcia, very silky, but he's also got that hard edge, whereas Windy, he's got that tagging now, the tackling, the in and under, and Garcia can get it on the outside and be damaging with his left foot. Winhager's very good at, I guess, linking up the chains. He's kind of finding himself that second handball, third handball in a chain, which is really good, and his running capacity is getting better every single week. Throw in Filippo in there, Darcy Wilson, as Ross Lyon said in his press conference, and I think that midfield, Garcia, Windhager, Filippo, Wilson, Nasaya, Owens, that's looking really exciting. And I think that's a main positive from yesterday, is that although Steele and McRae, 2 of our oldest, more experienced midfielders, were well held, Garcia, Windhager, and even Naz going in there, they actually, they proved their worth in there and look very comfortable against other senior midfielders. Number 3, controversial. I tweeted about this before, but I don't get the Ronnie Burns hate. I don't get the hate. I get that he turned it over a couple of times yesterday, and I just think people are being very harsh on the bloke. To put it into perspective before I forget this stat, I know everyone is pinning him on a couple of turnovers yesterday. Darcy Wilson had about 6 yesterday. A couple of them directly resulted in goals. And for the season, he's had 38, which is a AFL high. Ronnie Burns for the whole season has had 15, okay? So he's had 23 less than Darcy Wilson, and I don't hear many people talking about Darcy Wilson's disposal efficiency. I think what Ronnie brings is, like I mentioned with Windy, he's the connector. I don't think he should be playing a defensive back role, and that's what happened yesterday. I think that's the issue when Naz pushes forward and he's so attacking, is that we need to have blokes like Ronnie behind the ball a little bit more. But with Webster and Stocker, I'm surprised that we even did that, because I think Ronnie on the wing with Brad Hill, with Darcy Wilson, Wood, who's pushing forward more now, I would have thought he could push up the ground and be that kick inside 50 as opposed to the kick outside 50 in defensive 50 under pressure. I just think that I want to get beyond this scapegoat bullshit where we have one loss, we lose by 28 points to a flag favourite away from home in 35-degree heat, not playing anywhere near our best, and we have to pin it on one bloke. I just think that's childish. I think that's lazy. I think that there's more to what happened yesterday and why we lost than Ronnie's 3 turnovers in 20 possessions. If most of the blokes run and chase and try to create like Ronnie yesterday, we're better for it. And I think if you look at the type of player that Ross Lyon loves, it's a Ronnie type. Irrespective of whether you want him in the team or not, Ross Lyon loves these role players. And there is, Ronnie to a T is a role player. He does what Ross says. He does it pretty well. Every week he's getting his 17 to 20. His disposal efficiency yesterday was 74%. I think Naz had 6 or 7 turnovers yesterday, but he's kicked 3 goals. So you kind of, you forget about it. But my point is, don't pick on one bloke. It's a team. He's in the wins too, yeah? He doesn't get plaudits there, but then when we lose, we pick on one bloke. And as Ronnie's 23, and he's been thrown to the wings, being thrown down back a little bit, where I don't think he's suited to, and he's doing a pretty good job. And he gives 100% effort every week. And some weeks we lose, we say, at least we just want players that give effort. I don't care if they make mistakes. And Ronnie gives 100% effort, then he makes mistakes, and then the same people are pinning him on it. So pick a side. But I rate Ronnie. I think maybe in 2-3 years' time, if we're a flag favourite and we're top 4, maybe he's pushed out of the team a little bit and on the fringe. But for now, I don't see the point in ripping into one bloke. I just don't see how that's helpful at all. Number 4, Cooper Sharman is building. I was bullish about him in the preseason. He had his injury setbacks, but he's really making that forward line his own. And that was the first game, I think, in his career where he just seemed like he was really angry and really wanted to make things happen and was quite aggressive with his leading on the ball. Usually he's quite a quiet achiever, but yesterday I just thought the way he was marking it, there was a mark where he marked it at the highest point on Sam Taylor, who's much bigger than him, and he clunked it. And his set shot kicking is better than anyone in our team. He's kind of that Tim Membry type where, you expect 70 to 80% of his shots to go in. And that left foot snap was all class, and he's very silky. And I think that the fact that King's not in is disappointing, but at the same time, it kind of gives more ownership and responsibility to players like Cooper Sharman, and he's living up to it, and that's really exciting. Number 5, we should trust the bounce back. I did my research. Our last 3 losses, we have bounced back. We lost last year. We bounced back with 2 straight wins. And then we lost again. We bounced back with the last 3 wins of the season. We lost in round 1. Then we bounced back with 3 in a row. We've lost this week. Very rarely under Ross do we lose more than 2 in a row. Just by the stats. A really exciting opportunity against the Dogs. I don't think we're mentally fragile after a loss. I think that, especially the way we finished the game. Look at the way we ended the Adelaide game in round 1. We got pantsed. It was embarrassing. And then we go out and we beat Geelong, who had just come off a really impressive win in round 1. So to me, I'm not too worried about where the team's at mentally. I think I'm expecting a big sort of response in that first quarter, and the way we've started games in the last couple of weeks has been really exciting as well. So we've started games well, we've ended both the last 2 weeks well, kicked the last 2 goals against Port to win the game and seal it, kicked 4 goals to 0 in the last quarter yesterday against the Giants, bridged the gap, wasn't enough, but I think that's a really good sign going into the Dogs game. So I'm expecting a bounce back. Whether that results in a win, I don't know, but I am expecting a much better performance on the weekend, and I'm sure all the players and Ross Lyon is expecting that as well. So on that note, Sainers, that is 5 things we learned from round 5. Just rounding it out. Number 1, lack of height hurt us. I think tactically it didn't work. I think we deliberately went in smaller. I think that backfired. We desperately need height back in this team to support Rowan Marshall. Number 2, Garcia, Winhagen, Naz, Filippo. The midfield partnership of those guys is going to be exciting for the future. And Garcia, Windy in the last couple of weeks has kind of carried the midfield with McRae, which is exciting. And I don't mind Naz going in there occasionally as well. Number 3, I don't get the Ronnie hate. I get the frustration that we have players that can be prone to some mistakes, but I don't feel we need to go overboard. Number 4, Sharman is building into a very handy footballer, and I think he's going to be better for it when Max King gets back. And number 5, we should trust a bounce back. We've done it the last 3 losses. We've bounced back, and I think we can do it again against the Dogs on Sunday night for Easter Sunday. So on that note, Sainers, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.